So why is collaboration important while doing philanthropy? I think the answer is very simple. You can't do great things alone. As simple as that. You can't build a big company alone, you need a team. You can't build a great institution alone, you need a team, right? Now you can have one philanthropist and a large team doing the work, that's theoretically possible. But if it's a large project, it probably will require funding which is larger than one person's ability. Second is that if there's one person doing all the funding, it ends up being run like a proprietorship. And great causes are usually collectives. Right? Great institutions are usually collective efforts. So very early on, when we were conceiving Ashoka, we figured 2-3 things. At the very beginning, we said, should it be a not-for-profit or can you make it for-profit? We even asked that as a basic question. And we came to the conclusion very quickly that it has to be not-for-profit. Why? Because the greatest universities in the world are not-for-profits. You will not get great professors coming and teaching and doing research at a for-profit university. Right? Number one. Number two is it cannot belong to any one person. It has to belong to everybody. No great university in the world belongs to one person. They belong to the public, they belong to a larger group, they belong to all stakeholders. And we were clear about that. And therefore we decided very early on, no matter who gives how much money, that person will only get one seat on the board. So you can give X or you can give 10X. Your influence and seats on the board are the same. It's not about how much money you give. The single biggest lesson I have about collaboration is that if you really believe in the cause, you got to walk the talk and be prepared to walk alone. And only when you walk alone will others follow. Right? So in the beginning, when we were conceiving Ashoka, we had big dreams. We still do, but we had big dreams. But then the meltdown happened in 2008, and suddenly nobody was feeling rich anymore. Right? So nobody was putting in too much money, including me. Right? And meanwhile, our land application got approved by Government of Haryana, and we got allotted a plot of land where Ashoka is right now. And that came in about 2009 or was it 2010. But you had to put up 25% of the money in order to take possession. And there wasn't any money. And we had 12 months. Right? So roughly a week before this 12 months were to expire, I went to Ashish Dhawan and I said, listen, we're going to lose the land. And if we lose the land, this thing is not happening because we'll be set back by 5 years or 10 years maybe. And people will lose interest, even we will lose interest. Right? You got to give 25%. So why don't you give 12.5%? I will give 12.5%. Let's just get the land. The risk is that nobody else puts money after that. So we can't really construct, we can't move the project forward. We put in the money, we can't pay for the rest of the land. So we lose this money. That's the downside. And he thought about it. And this was at a dinner, at a dinner party somewhere. And he took about 2.5 minutes and he said, let's do it. Okay. And we scrambled for the next week. And I remember I sold every financial asset I had, all mutual funds, everything, and somehow raised that money. Okay. And we gave him that money 4 hours before the deadline was to expire. Okay. And we secured the land. But if he had not done that, this university would not have happened because we would have lost the land. And therefore, the biggest lesson for me is, look, if you don't stand up and walk, you can't expect others to walk. So first do it yourself and only then others will follow. First of all, you must welcome collaboration. So you got to let other people in. Okay. Number one, the financial burden will be shared. Number two, you can build a much bigger, better institution, right? Because number three, good people will come with good ideas, right? And the truth is, Ashoka is a product of maybe the efforts of hundreds, maybe thousands of people, right? It would not have happened if it had just been 2 or 3 people. So great things don't get done by 1 or 2 people. If you want to do great things, you got to collaborate. And collaboration and with 100 people or 1,000 people means essentially, to a large extent or to some extent, you're giving up personal control. That everything will not happen as you want it. You cannot micromanage it, right? And you got to be willing to do that.